Hello my loves, welcome back to my art channel. If you're new here, my name is Tamsin and I'm the artist behind aianaiyaillustration. Illustration. Here are some of my artworks that I've done recently. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to switch from traditional art to digital art. So I was actually a traditional artist for about 6 years. I began with realism drawings and then I moved on to drawing more like cartoony illustration type things, where I used a lot of watercolor and gouache. I was technically, I've been an artist like my entire life. I've always drawn, but I started to take it seriously in 2012, I think it was. 2012, 2013, and I was just basically getting back into the flow of it, just drawing things that I liked with like a basic pencil and colouring pencils. Then I started to move on to graphite pencils and I started drawing a lot of realistic art. And then I think it's about 2018 I decided that I was going to draw in a more illustration type style, and that's when aianaiyaillustration was born. And then, I've always wanted to do digital art. I've just personally preferred it and liked how clean it looked, and I kind of wanted to achieve that myself. So it was roughly around 2020 when I decided to get into digital art. So I've not actually been doing it for a very long time yet, but I wanted to show you what I learned switching from traditional to digital and the kind of process that I took and what helped me. So firstly, you're going to need to think about the type of digital software that you're going to want to use. If you don't want to spend very much, then you can just get a drawing tablet and a free piece of software for your computer. If you have an iPad, then you can get Procreate, which I don't think is very expensive on the App Store. If you have some other tablet, I think there will be drawing apps that you can get that probably cost money, but I've never had any experience with those, so I don't really know what to suggest with those. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to let you know is that digital art, when you first get into it, it is like learning art all over again. But it's almost like teaching your hand all over again how to use the pen, how to use the software, and especially if you go and get a drawing tablet and you're using the tablet here like in front of you, and then you're seeing the drawing come up on the computer screen in front of you. That is very difficult to master, like the drawing down here, but your art is like showing up there. If you can afford to, I would highly recommend getting an iPad and getting Procreate, because drawing on the screen is so much easier, and I felt that as soon as I was able to draw on the screen that my improvement was so quick. If you would like a Procreate tutorial, let me know in the comments and then I can make that for you. If you're liking the video so far, please don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button. So one thing that I struggled with when I first started doing digital was the fact that I was so used to sketching traditionally. I found it really difficult to try and sketch on the digital software, and even up until I got my iPad and Procreate, I was still having a hard time sketching in the software. Something you can do in the beginning to help yourself out a little bit is to still sketch traditionally, then take a photo of it, import that photo into your software, lower the opacity and create a layer above it, and just do your line work and everything that way. When you feel ready, then I would suggest to just try sketching in the digital software. It's going to feel really weird at first, but now I am so used to sketching digitally that I don't think I'm going to actually sketch traditionally again. The one thing that you're going to need to remember in the beginning of all of this, when you first start drawing digitally, you're going to have to learn the entire software that you're using. For me, one thing that I found really easy was to have some kind of streamline right in the beginning. I don't really use streamline anymore unless I really need a super smooth line. But in the beginning I streamlined everything because the line work came out so shaky. Like it was just so difficult to get really smooth line work right in the beginning. I think it's something that you learn to do over time. So things like that are things that you will need to almost learn what works for you, and that's why I say that starting to draw digitally is like learning art all over again. It's learning a new way to create your art, and it's an entire process, which it doesn't have to take too long, but if you're just kind of like teaching yourself, it can be a little bit different. Another thing that I would suggest is to try a bunch of different brushes. You can get loads of free brushes. You can also get lots of paid brushes. I do actually have a few of my own paid brush sets that you can find in my Etsy store if you're interested. They're actually not that expensive, and I tend to include them in some of my sales as well. The one thing I remember doing when I got my iPad and I got Procreate, I watched a bunch of digital art tutorials from other artists. Things like how they did their line work, how they colored their pieces, different effects they used. I watched things on like Procreate tricks, and honestly, like seeing these different artists and their different processes really, I feel like, helped me so much to excel. If you would like to see my own colouring process, then I will put the video up here for you to check out. Lastly, I just want to say that with the traditional to digital transition, that it may take time. I did it pretty quickly, but as I told you guys in the beginning, that I spent a lot of time with traditional, so I think that maybe helped me to get the other skills that I needed. But if you follow along with my tutorials and you follow along with all these tips that I've put in this video for you, then I'm sure it will be a quicker process. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and if you want, share it to your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!